So Simon, a bit of an unfamiliar sight this afternoon, an unchanged squad for you. I think it's the first time since you come in as head coach of the club that you've been able to do that. Is that a reaction of last week's performance? How much of that is down to that?
Oh yeah, a bit of both. I thought it was a pretty good performance last week, and we come through injury free, which is not like us. From the start of the year, we've always lost a couple of bodies in each game, and but this week we haven't lost anyone, and unfortunately as well, we haven't got anyone back that is on in the injured group. So a little bit of both, but it is what it is, and we can't change that. So we've got a good enough squad to go and compete against these guys on the weekend.
You mentioned Toulouse there. Obviously everyone's well aware of the attacking threat that they've got. They've got a lot of experienced players within the squad. Is it a case of another step up in performance needed from the lads this week?
Yeah, there's no question that they're a good team. Jonathan Ford, Lloyd White, they're good attacking players. They're going to be a threat with the ball. There's no question of that, and they're the favourites for promotion. But I've said many times, I don't think this league is huge difference between top to bottom. It's all about what you do off the ball and the effort you put into a game, and if we do that, we'll put ourselves in a position to win the game. So that's our focus. They're a quality team. We can't get away from that, but you still got to do the little things well, and if we do them, we'll compete and we'll be in a chance to win.
The game takes place at Swinton's Haywood Road, obviously due to the restrictions with travel. Avoiding that trip to France, how much do you think that will benefit us this weekend?
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell, because it's a good trip. It's not a hard trip. That what is it, an hour and a half travel? It's not that much stress on the body. The only difficulty, obviously, this is with around coronavirus and the restrictions that they place on our part-time players returning. But it's a good trip as well going over to Toulouse, so we miss that opportunity as well. So that I don't think it'll make a huge difference either way on that. And they're so accustomed to travelling because they've been doing it obviously since they entered the competition. So I don't think it affects anyone either way. I'm a little bit disappointed we don't get to go over there, but the circumstances dictate why we can't do that. So we'll play them on a neutral venue.
Toulouse have had a bit of a stop-start 2021 so far, obviously with some gaps in between games. Will that come into it at all and help us with the fact that we're going week to week?
We'll certainly be more battle-hardened than them. Obviously, that's clear to say because we've played, I think, 7 games now for 6 games, so we've got that in our tank. But if you ask me if we could do with a week off and that they've had, we clearly could, because we've had injuries every week, so we've got bodies that throughout them 6 or 7 weeks we could have done with having a week off here and there. So it's really difficult to say who's got the advantage in them ways. It's clear, if you go into a game and you need some to rest some bodies, you could do with a week off. We're probably going into a game where we like going back to back at the moment because we've come off a good performance. We're relatively injury free from the weekend before, so in that way we've got a little advantage. But again, I don't know what health they went into after their game against Halifax. They had a couple of knocks, and by the look of their squad, they've got some players back that didn't play against Halifax, so it might have done them well. So time will tell. I'll be able to tell you who had the benefit of the doubt and who had the pluses on that at 6:15 on Sunday.
We go into this week obviously off the back of a victory. Have you noticed the difference with the squad in the way that they've been in training this week?
We had a good week going into Batley. We trained really intense and we did some good things in training. It was no dissimilar this week how we trained, but this week we put the effort in the right areas for longer periods and we got what we deserve. It's a broken record what I'm saying, but it's clear this is how these competitions going to work this year, and it probably will work for the foreseeable future. So the lads are upbeat because winning helps that, but they know the manner and the performance and why we got that. So they know that, again, if we do that, we'll put ourselves in a really good position to win the game.
And just something on Ellis Robson, obviously he's signed a longer term loan extension to the 2-week deal that he joined on. How impressed have you been with him, and how much of a boost is it to get him long term?
Yeah, it's obviously really good news for the club and for the team, because he's been, his performance on the field have been clear to see. I think he's an excellent character within the group as well. He's been here before, and it was like he wasn't away when he first walked in. He's such a good character, and I think him, Brad, Aribe, all the loanee players that have come in there this year have been a credit to their club. I think they've all put in excellent performances during games, and on the weekend, but how they've been at training and around training has been, just as good, if not better, So I can't speak highly enough of all three individuals and their clubs that they're representing at the moment. And, it's pleasing that he's here week to week, and I'm sure we're going to see him get better and better.
And just finally, how important is it now that we start showing a bit of consistency in our performances and obviously build on the improvements that were made last week?
Yeah, and we know as a group we've got to show that consistency in the right areas, the effort areas and off the ball. And if we do that each week, again, it doesn't guarantee you win, but it will guarantee you win more than you lose, and you'll certainly be in games to win. So that's we know as a club, and we know what we need to do off the field and how we go about that, because from day one we've all spoke about that and how important it is, and now we've got to keep replicating it week in, week out, which I'm sure we will do, and we'll try our best to compete